Much love and light. How is everyone doing? I'm gonna take a sip. Isn't it beautiful outside? I'm show everybody where I'm at. I am walking at the park, and I just want to share this moment with everyone and have a delightful conversation. So I'm gonna take some breaths because I just got out here and the air feels so amazing. And the best way to get your thoughts out is by taking a couple of breaths as well. So if you're watching this right now, please share this video. I would appreciate it because this message is for everyone that has kids, wants to have kids, or is in a child's life. It is really vital and important to open up the dialogue and get others involved with what they're experiencing in their everyday life. I am a mom of 3. My children are not so young anymore. I have 2 12-year-olds right now for a couple more days. My son's going to be 13. So I have a 12-year-old daughter, 12-year-old son, and a 16-year-old son. And I have them with 2 different fathers. And it has definitely been an experience, to say the least. And it has been great. It's been really abundant for my children to experience a new lifestyle, and it's such a great life for them that they don't really realize what other people are experiencing. And I feel like that's what a lot of us don't realize. So so this is the message. I'm not with my kid's father. So that says that they have the ability of being with another woman, and I have the ability of being with another man. And to create a new life, a new path, a new journey for happiness. And I want to be able to share with others our ability to include these other halves of our family. I just want to help everyone understand what it is to really help and provide and enhance and empower our children's lives the best, is to be able to include the new members of our lives, regardless of how new it is, of how unrealistic it is, of how out of the ordinary it is. Our lives are our lives, and we need to keep continuing including our children in their lives. And as we include our children in our lives, we have to make sure that other people are respecting our decisions. A lot of us don't realize that we make choices about what's right for our children to experience and what's wrong for our children to experience based upon our families, our extended families' values, and beliefs. Our old way of being was to be separate, to be separated from other families. If you're not with your kid's father anymore, you're not supposed to talk to them, you're not supposed to engage with them, you're not supposed to do business with them, and you're not supposed to have any conversation outside of the wellness of the children. And this has created a lot of friction, a lot of secrets, a lot of unwanted situations. And it's time for us to really stand up. It's time for us to really stand up and start changing our response to these situations. We do not need to be separate from each other. We do not need to feel like a person is our property, right? Our kid's father is not our property. I'm not the property of my children's father's life, but we want to be able to create an abundant family lifestyle. So my kid's father, he's with a female, and they had a kid together, and I accept them as my family. If they need help, if they need the baby to be watched, I'm here. I want to be able to help them watch the baby. I want to be able to have a strong relationship with his child's mother, and I want to be able to talk to her and help her and engage with her and be a part of her life. We need to stop thinking that we don't have a reason to talk to each other. The second that we create a lifeline with another person, we should feel responsible, and we should stand our grounds to make sure that our image is reflective through all of the variations of people's understanding of us. And that goes to our kid's father, for me, because I'm a female, to my kid's father, to my kid's father's spouses, to their mothers and their sisters and uncles and cousins. Everybody should be able to understand who I am, regardless of the fact if we're together or not. I'm still a good person. We still want to be abundant. We want to help each other make money. If my kid's father, he knows how to take photos. So, and I need to be able to create flyers and promotions for my business. So why would I not hire him to be my photographer, so that I can give him money, so I can promote his skills, so I can show the abundance of the people in my worlds and how profitable that they can create. This is what I do in my life. So as we remain abundant in our lives, we need to allow ourselves to include everyone that we've had in our life, regardless if they're not directly a part of our journey anymore. The second they touch our journey, they're a part of their life. They're part of our life. Their energy is a part of our life. We've given them a part of our energy, and we need to learn how to utilize our energy, because our energy is our currency. It's our value. It's how we're going to be able to expand in life. So who in your life are you not providing empowerment to, that you've given your energy to? Your kid's father, your children, your grandparents, your parents-in-laws. I received a lot of flack for helping my brother's child's mother because they broke up, and I allowed her to live in my house because she didn't have anywhere to stay, and the whole family shunned her for breaking up with him. And I allowed her into my house because I don't want to see my niece's mother having to struggle. I want to see my niece enjoying her mother and her mother enjoying her daughter, because every child needs to have that guardianship of a female and a masculine energy in their life, so that they can know how to be balanced. And if it's not there, then how are they going to be able to feel safe and secure? How are they going to be able to feel like they can have a larger family if we keep separating, just because people are not, now that my sister-in-law and my brother are not together, and my kids are not supposed to call her their aunt anymore? Is that right? Can you take away someone's title like that and it never existed? Like, what happens to the memories before? Oh, that was your aunt before, but she's not your aunt now. What is that? Are you doing these things to people in your life? Are you helping people to stay separated? What are some questions that you have about split families, blended families? Please type them in the comments. It's very important to get these questions answered. It's very important to understand, how are you supposed to be a part of a community? How are you supposed to be unified in times such as now? You know, everyone's speaking about social distancing. Who are the right people to have around you right now? Who are trusted individuals to have around you right now? And then to go and flip it to like the females. Like, a lot of females want to stay separated from they want the males to stay separated from their exes, from their child's mom, or even their ex. You know, if you begin to love somebody and you begin to find love in somebody, the love doesn't really go away, because whatever it was that you found love in them is always going to be there. It's something that's always there. So when we tell people that we've broken up in a relationship and we don't love them anymore, how true can that really be? How can you take away love? Something that was always there. My essence is love. So you can't take away my love. And if you learn to love my essence, how can you say that you don't love me anymore? These are just questions, you know, that we should really be asking ourselves, because we don't want to be separated. If you don't want to be separated anymore, if you don't want to be alone anymore, stop making that happen. Stop telling people that they don't want to be there. Stop telling people that what they're giving isn't enough. Your kid's father or mother doesn't show up only 5 times a year. Is 5 times not something more than nothing? What message are you really trying to give to somebody when you tell them no to a connection? What are you telling yourself? Because you tell yourself all the time that you want to have connection, that you want to have someone in your life, and then you find out that your spouse is cheating on you and you want them to get rid of that person in their life. But you just wish for someone to be in your life to bring joy and fulfillment. You didn't know it was going to be in the form of your spouse finding another attachment that you can then learn to embrace. Or ask yourself why you ask that into your life. Everything is going to be more fluid the second you stop allowing separation into your life. The children that we bring into this world are not our children, they're God's children. If you believe that you're God's children, I'm God's children, if you believe it, then you need to believe that the children that you have are God's children, and they're not your children. They're not your choice on who gets to raise that child. It's not your choice upon who gets to be around that child. It's your choice upon who you get to be in these children's life. It's your choice to decide on how God sees you in your life. You know, and we need to be able to help each other be more successful in these avenues of life, because our children's life mean more than anything. And one thing that this quarantine social distancing created was now people are learning to rely on people in their family. My kid's father, he's an amazing man, so he does a lot of things. So he also does haircuts, and now that people that in his inner circle are seeing him do haircuts, they're like, oh well, I'm gonna bring my kids to you to get haircuts. And it's actually really hard for me to find somebody that gives good haircuts, so I see that you do great haircuts, so I'm just gonna come to you all the time. So it's now learning to understand that our skills and traits are meant to be served within our community, within the people that we know and love every day. They're going to be the ones that can benefit the most from our products and services. And what are we going to do in order to transition from providing products and services to only people that we don't know, to then turning to providing products and services that we do to people that we do know in our community. Our community is large, our community is grand, but our community is only going to be abundant once we start looking at who is in our community, how those people can help us in our community, and how we can be more inclusive in our community. Everyone is right next to you. Every town that we live in has over 10,000 people in it. So there should be no reason why we feel like we're alone, that people don't understand us, that we don't know where to go to get help. If you don't have help, if you feel separated from everyone, it's your choice. You're living like this by your choice, no one else's choice at all. I'm a survivor from a concussion, and I am definitely more so grander appreciative of my everyday life and everything that has been given to me, and I'm not here to waste it. And I spent some time wasting some minutes double guessing myself upon how much of this message I should share. And the most important thing that I've learned right now is to just share it and to just give it, however, whatever form that looks like, that feels like, and that's in. So I'm gonna walk some more, and I'm gonna talk some more, because I want y'all to put your questions in here. Let me see how are you including these people into your world? What do your family ties look like? How willing are you to allow people into your world to meet your family? How long do you take in order for people to meet your mom or your dad or your kid's father? If you're dating a new person, what kind of restrictions do you put on your life? What kind of boundaries do you have? What are you trying to get out of this experience? When you tell somebody that they can't have them around their kids, when you tell someone that you don't trust them to have the kid for the night, what are you expecting? What were your expectations? Well, I got some questions. Let's see. I grew up with a blended family. It helped shape who I am today. Now I have my own blended family because I became a stepmom to my new husband, 2 kids, and same as he became a stepdad to my 3 kids. My kid's dad now has a girlfriend with daughter. Been trying to get them to work together with me to raise these kids. Okay, so Teresa, I love your comment. So the best way to get someone to engage is to ask them this question. What do you expect? What experience would you like your child to experience? What values are you teaching your children? And it really depends on how much of a conversation you can have with your kid's father, is how far it's gonna go. Sometimes we just need to learn to accept who they're being and just say, okay, all right, let me know when you're ready, because I'll be ready. Let them know that you'll always be ready. If people are resistant in your life, make sure that you'll always be ready. Don't give them any judgment on what answer they give you. Even if it's an answer that you don't like, don't give them any judgment. So when you respond, don't take a breather, because a lot of times we judge the situation immediately and we say, okay, this is what he's doing. But we're gonna take a breather. All right, that's the reality that you want to accept for now. When you're ready to provide a different answer, I will give you that opportunity, because I'm going to keep asking you until you're ready. And I know that it's not really easy. And the other tip that I want to give is, a lot of times we get caught in loops, right? In a conversation, someone will, instead of answering your question of how can we get together, how can we do something with the kids, and they'll start arguing that you don't want to be there, or you can't take my attitude, or every time that we try to talk, it's always something. These are not answers to your question. So you need to allow yourself to hear that and stop and say, are these going to provide solutions? Are these comments providing solutions? These are things that I would say to help get my kid's father to really hear me. I would say, I'm only here to talk positively, to provide some positive action, to provide solution. And what I hear from you right now is not solution, it's not positivity. You know, it sounds like you're trying to separate from the situation, you're trying to deflect from the situation. Are we teaching our kids to deflect from situations and not assess their emotions? Is this what we want to provide? Is this the scenario or the relationship that we want to provide for our children, to run from their emotions, regardless of how happy or sad or confused or conflicted they may sound? Because if you don't let them out, they'll still stay in. And then you're going to carry that around with every conversation that you have with people, especially when they bring up the conversation of kids, especially when they ask you about how have things been. You're not going to know what to say, because you're just going to say, you know, the kids are growing, things are getting better, it's life. Don't you want to say something else better? Don't you want to say, like, yeah, me and my kids, we're going on places together, we go on vacation. I can't wait to go on vacation with my kid's father and their spouses, to where we get to share our kids, we get to actually take a break, because the other family can take the kids and the other couples get to take a break. It's actually quite wonderful to have a blended family. It almost helps us to identify with the polyamorous lifestyle, which is learning to have a blended family, however that version looks for you. However that version looks for you. So this is the lifestyle that is going to create abundance, inclusion, blended, multi-diverse. My parents are Puerto Rican and Haitian. My mom's Puerto Rican, meaning she's from Puerto Rico. My dad is from Haiti. And I love both sides of my cousins, and extremely hard to just keep it separate and just do things with one side and do things with another side when they both want to do the same thing with me. So I was like, me and my cousin were like, let's get this together. Let's make a cousins trip. So we did a cousins trip, and we got about, the first cousins trip, we got about, I think it was 14 of us. 14 cousins from two sides of my family, Puerto Rican and Haitian. And the beginning of the blending happened. Even though, you know, some cousins met each other from parties here and there, but really did that inclusive family blend with that cousins trip, because now all of my cousins, you know, really know each other, which is dope. And to give a little bit more backstory, one of my cousins worked for the airlines on my dad's side, and on my mom's side, my other cousin was reaching out to me about a job change to go work for the airlines and for the same one that she worked for. So I was like, hey, you know my cousin, she definitely works there, she can definitely help give you some insight of how to get in there and if you want to be even in there. And they connected, and he ended up getting the job, and they ended up working together, and now they're like super close. And we had a family reunion last year, and she definitely, on my Puerto Rican side, and she definitely hopped into that family reunion and was in there like swimwear. She's part of the family, and it felt great. It felt so great to have like multiple family members there, and to have a representative from the other side of my family. It was very empowering for me. A lot of energy that I received that week. But you know, because of that, it allowed them to have a better job source, better empowerment in starting a position, and now they're like super tight. They have a relationship that's like really biased, but it's still part of the family. So it's like family ties. They're so dope. I love them. They really love my cousins. I love my family. They're so dope. And helping them to love themselves more, and they've helped me to love myself more because they don't judge me. Not so much. But they definitely allow me the space to be me, and that's most vital. So I'm gonna go finish my walk, finish my beautiful walk. I hope that you all enjoy your beautiful day, you divine beings, and keep pushing to the enlightenment. Enlightenment is all about unity, balance, and truth and love. So stand there and see how that feels like. Mahatma Starseed. Share this. Much love and light.